him that leads me to believe there were no friends, there was no newly met girlfriend. So am I left to believe that he goes out swimming all on his own?
Hello. I am Tank. I'm not going to waste your time. I just want to go through a few clips. Of course, we know we're all deep in diving into this whole Nolan Wells thing. It is a lot of different things, but I got a few clips from TikTok Street that I want to kind of go over with you guys and just listen in. So do me a favor, hit like and maybe subscribe if you can hear my voice and you're digging what I got going on. So let's jump back into this. This is Next Grace, and then we're gonna go down from each video. Let's go.
Park ranger found him. That leads me to believe there were no friends, there was no newly met girlfriend. So am I left to believe that he goes out swimming all on his own and the friend girl leaves, the mates from school leave, everybody just leaves him out in the water and he dies and then just conveniently washes ashore?
Nope.
Somebody just left him out in the water? Does that make sense to you?
It's basically saying that this is the reason that Nolan Wells was killed.
I got a story to tell. Story time.
Now this one right here, this is definitely bigotry, ignorance, and just downright racism. But this is what we got. Listen to this one.
But first, this boy in Mississippi, here's some pictures that's come out. Remember he had the 3 YT friends? Look at these pictures. They got sick and tired. I'm not saying they did nothing. I'm just saying they're sick and tired. We ain't letting them take our women no more. That's over with, I'm telling y'all. My YT boys are waking up. I'm speaking faith. All across the nation, you're going to see this happen. White men being white men again.
Y'all heard him, and this is exactly why racist rhetoric is so dangerous.
It is. That's exactly why the rhetoric is so dangerous. It gags me because if your women are choosing BBC or whatever they choose, there should be something that you should be able to look around and sweep around your own front door. That means the call is coming from the inside of the house, just saying. Let's go.
He's basically trying to say that the only reason why Nolan was killed is because he was with a white girl. Exactly what he said is the reason I feel like Nolan was killed as well. Even though it's fucked up that he would say some shit like this, it is people out here in the world that feels exactly like him. Now, it's important to say that every white man don't feel this way. Only people like him. But because there are men like him, black men, protect yourselves. Talk to your sons, arm yourselves, and stay aware.
I did block my mom for this video.
Yep, and she was right. She was definitely right. Let's continue. This one right here, this one is called Being Mixed with a White Mom Who Does Not Get It. I just wanted to highlight this one because her story was very, very touching. So let's listen in and see what her experience is living with a white mom by herself. Let's go.
And I'm a little skeptical on posting it, but I just am hoping this reaches my target audience, okay? But there's a lot of struggles as a mixed person, very unique struggles to being specifically black and white, and it's when you have a white mom, okay? That specific struggle. My mom makes racist comments frequently, and every time I call her out on it, it's like, I'm kicking you out of my house. And I don't know. I'm debating going no contact. And this whole thing started over my half brother, but he's just my brother, really. So he's not related to her, okay? He's fully black. He's having a black child, okay? He doesn't want her to see him because she's racist, right? And she is mad that I get to see the child, basically. And she's trying to stick her fingers in it and ruin it for me. And she went out of her way to text him. They don't talk. Because she threatened to call the cops on him when he wanted to take me out to lunch. Because sorry, I don't want to cry because I'm not a social media crier. That's not going to be me. But I was going through homelessness and I didn't have any friends and I was being bullied by my mother. I didn't go to school because I was so depressed, and my mom said the N-word and like supports Trump. Like, what? Like, what the fuck is that? So
I think this has to be it's hooked up. Like why would your mama even lay down, and you know what I'm saying? It hits you there psychologically. So my prayers are with her. This is wild. Like, and then on top of, for you to be homeless and your mom be like, you know, like this, that's crazy. Let's go.
for me, my brother was my first like positive black figure in my life, right? Because at this point I didn't have a dad either. So she starts to call the cops on him for doing that because I had to sneak out to go. The second time it was to go get shoes for my.
Now I have to ask this question right quick. I really wonder, like, what happened to her dad? Is he passed? Is he deceased? You know, so many questions going there because clearly her mom is white, her dad has to be black. So what happened to the father? It's a good question, like, because it's a void, you know.
My like homecoming dance. I'd never been to a dance before, and then she threatens to call the cops because my dad was there and my brother didn't come. And she's like, "Well, you lied," blah, 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 and blames it on him. And it was like this big scary incident. I remember just like sobbing, screaming, crying. It was pretty bad. Simultaneously, at the time that we're going to like court, she literally told me she didn't want me and like threw like court papers at me, whatever. Trauma dump. Okay, but yesterday we were talking about this because this all sparked over, you know, my brother not wanting her to be a part of any of this. Because why are you the victim, and why are you so selfish that you think this needs to be about you? And we keep telling her entitled, and she doesn't listen. Because my brother, who is my full brother that lives with me, we were talking to her about this, and she said we were telling her that, you know, Joe doesn't want to see you because you're racist. And she's like, I'm not racist. And then we go over the N-word thing. You said that. She's like, well, I wasn't saying it like that. I wasn't saying it towards you, so it doesn't even matter. And she's like, the educated ones don't say the N-word. So she's like one of the good ones, basically. She said the educated blacks don't say the N-word. That was her exact words. And she's like, well, the ones I'm friends with, they don't even say it because they're educated.
Now, mind you, she's talking about her biological mother.
And I was just like, you wouldn't say that about white people. You wouldn't say that. And then she's like, well, yes, I would. There's white trash. No, you're not just now saying that. When it comes to your head, just like, I only associate with the educated black people. That is basically what you're saying, especially when you're angry and you're spewing these things. And I'm telling her, I'm not yelling, mind you. I was not yelling at her. I was like, this is a very disgusting thing that you're saying. Like, you are saying really disgusting shit right now. And if you said this in front of a bunch of people, you would lose your job in a minute, especially having a government job like that. And then it just goes back to like, oh, I raised you, I gave you everything when we had nothing, and I was working a minimum wage job, and your dad this and that. I'm just like, I don't care what you gave. I don't care what you've given me. I don't care.
Right.
We could have been somehow poorer than we were, and if you were a good mother who.
And I say this, one reason I say that is because, like, I understand her because in a way, you know, she's more black than she is white looking, you know what I'm saying? And I said earlier in another video, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, when you're getting pulled over, something is happening or whatever, no matter what it is, we're in America. When they see you at first, they gonna see your color, and they gonna see that you're black. It's gonna be first, regardless of anything else, and then they move on, like her mom does.
Instilled good values in me, then I feel like that would, you know, negate all of that. It wouldn't even really matter that we had it hard because it would have, but you know what I mean? It's not the same. And I told her, I was like, you want to know why I'm so independent? Why? Like, if you died tomorrow, I would be so fine. It's because I've been by myself. Her family, I don't rely on them at all. I don't talk to them. They don't talk to me. They don't care to. They were so disgusting towards me when it was like 2020 Black Lives Matter. I had my opinions because I'm a black woman, and they were just evil towards me, the shit that they would say. None of them have ever defended me. They're all in the same. I don't care. I don't care. And even when I was little at family functions, I was very to myself. I wasn't comfortable here. And I'm not comfortable here either. Clearly, I just have always had this resentment for my mom, and it's because she's always like, I apologize. but it's not genuine because you keep doing the same shit.
That's because what her mom is doing is ingrained in her. It's ingrained. Like she could have all the BBC she want and produce many black children that she would like, but it's ingrained in her. She really feels that same way. She feel like she doesn't, but it's such a psychological game to the point where it's like, if you feel that way, why even touch a black man? Why?
Over and over, she's always gonna say some racist shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like the other day, she said that Mexicans. I said I was defending Mexicans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Latinos specifically, and because it was a conversation about ICE, and she said, "Well, the ones I know are sex offenders." What the fuck is your problem, bitch? You were dumb. Like, I just can't. I'm sorry. I raised myself. My brother, it was just my brother and I. And we have a really good sibling relationship to where, like, it was just me and my brother growing up. Like, we didn't really have, like, parents. My mom worked all the time. My dad was doing whatever the fuck he was doing. I don't fucking know. And then I can't, during my teen years, it was just all fucked up because you decided to be racist. Like, like, I don't think I'll ever be able to connect back.
And then on top of it, too, it could be that her mom is very bitter. I say bitter because, like, bitter because, you know, she went against, I'm telling you, like, listen, being black, that is one of the most treacherous or traitor things you can do against your own community. I guess sometimes being white is to encounter a black man or have a baby with a black man. Especially when I guess he is alive or he end up going away or something like that, or something happens and he's not there in the child's life, then you're resentful and bitter because what you thought you could trust becomes just a regular thing. But at the same time, it happens on both sides of the coin.
With you, especially since you still have these opinions. That's not just, it really just is an opinion though. She keeps saying that. It's like, that is how you view me at the end of the day. If I wasn't your daughter, like, you would, I'm just one of the other ones, you know? So yeah, I don't know. Real tough shit. I'm starting to think that I would have to give up my hobbies, I have to give up everything. But it might just be better for me to move out. And
I think so. Sometimes you know, what busts pipes is pressure or whatever, but pressure also creates diamonds or something like that. So you're gonna have to do that, and it's gonna be fine. But you know, I understand the no contact thing, but it's still your mom. But it's gonna be very difficult to get over because, like, in this scenario, how do you get over you being black and your mama being racist? You know, it's gonna be a lot of separation. You know, sad.
And it'll suck, but I'll be
Yes, it
fine.
will.
If I have to take student loans, just do that, you know? And then I would hate to live with my brother. I really would, because he's messy, but I would be fine. We live together now. We could
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Thank God for her brother being there.
split the rent and be fine. But there's my trauma dump. Oh.
So the same thing that happened to Nolan.
So this one right here, I want to say might be the last little story we're gonna go over right quick. I ran through this story right here the other night. It was just so, like, not only like relatable, gut wrenching, and just like clarifying. It was just a testimony of what some people go through, because some people, they get this thing where, like, you know, oh, it's not like this and that. But when you just sit and listen to people's experiences, you really are just kind of like gasp for air. And he's going to sit here and explain to you what his experience was around being the only black person in a group of white people that he was on some type of trip with. And I want you to listen to this and tell me what you think.
Wells almost happened to me. I think I was like 22 years old, working at Texas Roadhouse. You know what I mean? Young, silly. Forgot a couple of the things that my granddaddy told me when we were when I was growing up. But at any rate, every year the employees and managers they would take this little, resort, and it wasn't really a resort. It was in the country, and they would take a couple of canoes, some ice chest of beer, and you know what I mean. Everybody was out there smoking, you know what I mean. And I'm like, man, that sounds like a good time. And mind you, I could swim. Been swimming since, I don't know, maybe it was 4 years old when I jumped in the pool for the first time. But at that point in time, I thought these people were my friends. Another lesson my grandparents taught me when I was younger is that you don't have any friends. You know what I mean?
Hello. I was born in Mississippi. My mama, I had so many siblings. My mom used to tell me the same thing. They your friend. You got them. You ain't got no, because you got to understand, like, when you live it's a dog eat world, no matter what it is, you got to raise your children to teach them how to survive in this world. Teach them about the streets too, because they can have all the book sense in the world, but it's definitely wolves wrapped in sheep's clothing.
You really do not. Like, my siblings were always my friends, and I learned that. At any rate, I signed up to go on this, little trip with these people. And, it was good at first. It was, the water was kind of shallow. You know what I mean? We maybe had 6 or 7 canoes out there, music, people having a good time. And, I'm not really used to that, and I'm not having a good time. But usually when me and my people, my kinfolk, get together and play music that loud and was as rambunctious as they were, and because the whole time I'm looking around like, when the police showing up? We smoking weed out loud and everything. So mind you, and after a while I got comfortable into it. You know what I mean? Everybody told me, loosen up. But I'm on edge. You know what I mean? For many reasons. And so the trip continued, and at one point in time, they let us know, okay, so we're gonna get up on the bank right here, and then we're gonna go see the waterfall. So I'm like, oh, okay, so but what we gonna do at the waterfall? You know what I mean? Because
listen, I like him. You know why? Let me tell you why. Because, see, when it comes down to a scary movie, he's more likely to survive, because you got to ask questions, especially when you're the only one in a group. You got to watch the movie Surviving the Game with Ice-T. But if you're the only one in the group and it's something odd about to happen, everybody else, I don't know, you got the, they used to call it, in church, they call it a discerning spirit. You can call it being aware. You can call it being sensitive to your environment. You can call it heightened of intelligence. You can call it whatever. But spidey senses. But listen, no. Let's go.
I'm vibing, but at the same time, I'm not stupid. And they was like, we're just gonna look at the, sit there, light a fire, smoke some more, drink some more. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we get to the little spot where we pull up the canoes, we anchor them off and whatnot, and then they tell us, okay, so this little piece of water right here, we got to swim across that to get to the waterfall. Okay. I hate when people add extras to a plan. You know what I mean? Especially for me, I think into a lot of things, and I got a plan. So I'm still like, cautious, and I'm watching everybody dive in this water, you know what I mean, and swim right across. You know what I mean? And I hadn't jumped in yet because I'm still leery. And I don't know what it was, but it was holding me back. But so I'm the last person. Everybody, come on, let's go. So I jump in, and I get almost halfway through over that water to the other side. And then I realize that I'm swimming rather hard and ain't moving nowhere. Long story short, nobody told me that there was a strong current at this spot and you needed to be prepared. At this point, I'm smoking and
listen, I'm not a swimmer. I do not claim to be a swimmer. I cannot swim. What it is. But people that can swim, from what I've learned and what I heard, when it's currents or it's something going on, or lifeguards, they always let you know, even if it's high waves, or they always tell you what to expect, especially if it's a lot of people already. But why didn't they tell him?
drinking. So I couldn't understand. Mind, just get back to the story. So I get halfway through the water, and I realize that, and I'm losing my strength slowly but surely. And at this point in time, I am calling out for help. No music is playing at this time. You know what I mean? None. Yeah, everybody was rambunctious, excited, whatever, but you could clearly hear me out there in the woods. It's still daylight. So I am screaming that I can't make it. Somebody please help me. They turn around, several of them look at me, say, you can do it, come on, let's go. And they continue to walk off.
There's no way. Listen, people, it's not no shade, not trying to be funny or that. Black people, keep yourself out of those situations. Keep yourself out. It's just like, it's nothing wrong, but you got to go by what is history, what has shown, what has happened, what is happening, and how they feel. For real, for real. And says to me, I don't know what's going on right now across the world, but says to me, a lot of shit seems fishy, but this brother's story right here is very compelling and very touching.
At this point in time, I have already said my prayers and have already decided that I'm going to meet my maker. I scream one more time, I am going to drown, and I went down. I don't know who, can't remember who was and what made them decide to change their mind and come back, but one person jumped in that water, grabbed me, pulled me up onto the bank, and mind you, they didn't do anything else after that and continued on their way. So I said all of this to say that I have Caucasian friends, you know what I mean? And I ain't saying friends. I have Caucasian people that I love and care about. You know what I mean? Because that's what God said. But I will be honest with you. It is a lesson that the elders taught us as young black children. The same lesson that I'm sure you're telling all your children now. Do not be the only one. And it really doesn't matter how people feel about that, because the concern is preservation of life. So for some reason, God saw fit to not allow me to lose my life that day.
Thank God.
And for some reason, God called Nolan home. So I will say that despite what anybody feels about how you feel about the situation, please have that conversation with your children.
Amen.
And that's all I'm gonna say. Rest in peace, Nolan Wells, and to his entire family.
You're
that right there was the brother. That's the story I wanted to show you and let you see. I think that this whole entire thing is a hot mess. But if you ever just got to see some things and some people's questioning, and you got to see, we went from Nancy Grace all the way down to this, you get to see from my side of what I've gotten to see, and hopefully this kind of keeps you aware and kind of keep you alert. Now I think you said, not anything that's wrong with telling your children not to be the only one. It don't mean I'm biased or I'm prejudiced, something like that. No. Do we see exactly what happens every time that happens? Like the woman that was in a robe on the picture a while back with all of her white friends having like a wine and tea overnight party, and she came up and unalived, and sang. It just happens so much. The guy and the Irving guy, and I can't think what state it's in. The Irving guy, he was going out swimming and fishing, and it happened to him recently too. I think his was April or something recently. So Darren Irving, I think. So there's just always something. So just be aware, stay safe, and know who you're around. You don't want to be like Nolan friends out there. Nolan friends saying, "Yeah, this my best friend." You ain't never met they mama. Every one of my best friends that met my mama, they know my mama. They know me low. They know her. They got a phone number. So if something happened to me, they can call her and say, "Hey, XYZ," and I know all they folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for these young men to come out, hollering, "This my best friend, this my brother," no emotions. Let me tell you something. I love my best friends. I don't even like my ex best friends like that. I think they some raggedy, bald headed, lying ass bitches, and we was friends for 20 years. However, if they one day out the blue pass, I would be emotional. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna halfway not like the bitch, but I'm gonna be emotional. We had 20 years of friendship. Yeah, I'm gonna cry a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But it's just life. But for somebody to be like your brother and you don't have any emotion, especially taking them back to the site where it happened, and there's no tears on it, that you just splaining, like Tariq Nasheed say, you just up here splaining yourself, splaining. We can't be explaining no more. We gotta stop this. All right, hit like and subscribe. Bye.